Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of TechSpark. This issue concentrates on design thinking, user-centered design, and digital experience, specifically within the financial services industry sector. With our 6-episode podcast series, you can listen to great insights no matter where you are. Your time is precious to us, so whether you're on your way to work or have errands to run, tune in to keep up on the emerging technologies in the world of financial services today. Podcast 6. User-Centered Design by Andy Hall. Off-the-shelf, re-engineered, or bespoke? The answer to your UX question depends entirely on your user's needs. Excelian's user-centered design approach enables you to design a digital product based closely on the needs of the user. It provides a view of what needs to be built so the best decisions can be made in order to deliver the right solution. Financial services innovation is a fine balance between the user's needs, business needs, and technological needs, mapped against desirability, viability, and feasibility. To build out a successful product or service, you need to hit the sweet spot, bang in the center of these 6 dynamics. And the most effective way to make a success of this is to determine your build strategy and adopt a user-centered design approach across all axes. Okay, that makes sense, but what's my build strategy for user-centered design? Number 1, buy an off-the-shelf solution. Advantages to off-the-shelf software include delivery speed, cost, support, and a lot of functionality. But there can be disadvantages, such as too much functionality, 90% irrelevant, a steep learning curve, or too much of a compromise for users. Adopting software that requires users to work around natural workflows can be inefficient, unproductive, and demotivating. This ultimately has a negative associated cost attached and causes a lot of pain for the business and the IT department. Also, statistics show that 90% of the off-the-shelf product's functions may be irrelevant or require a steep learning curve for software users. Number 2, create a fully bespoke solution. The obvious big advantages are that the solution can match user needs, be a dream to use, limited license tie-in, or additional cost to vendors, and fit your technology infrastructure. But you could be reinventing the wheel. It could cost the equivalent of a small country's GDP and take years to deliver. Number 3. Build a hybrid solution. A third possibility is to create a bespoke solution for, let's say, 70% of your requirements, and then using an off-the-shelf solution to meet more generic or simpler requirements. This is cheaper and faster than a fully bespoke solution, and offers functionality much more aligned to your user's requirements than an off-the-shelf solution. Why is user-centered design so important? User-centered design leads to fit-for-purpose products and gives you a set of requirements to make better, more informed decisions on the solution to be delivered, be it off-the-shelf, fully bespoke, or a hybrid. It enables you to put your users first and then drive requirements based on their needs, and with close user involvement, products are more likely to meet users' expectations and requirements. User-centered designers craft products for people with specific tasks and workflows in an easy-to-use and intuitive manner that is frequently tested with users, thereby reducing the risk of cognitive overload, human error, or fat finger error. Here at Excelian, we follow the Design Council's Double Diamond creative process, and we believe that good design comes from following solid design practices. This is why we've adopted it. Since 1944, the Design Council has championed the case for good design in industry. The Double Diamond creative process comes from observation and analysis of similar approaches used by designers across different disciplines. Any design project consists of 4 phases: discovery, definition, design, and delivery. These can be mapped as 2 diamonds because the 4 phases aren't just a case of getting from A to D via B and C. All creative processes start with divergent thinking, the list of possible ideas. These are then filtered until a best idea emerges, convergent thinking. In any successful design project, this creative process happens twice, once in the analysis of a problem and again in the creation of the solution. If you neglect the first diamond and don't fully understand the problem, you will likely end up developing the wrong solution. The Design Council suggests that the creative process is iterative, meaning it is a process of repetitive reflection, analysis, design, and testing. Really good ideas can only emerge once all the other almost there and nearly good ideas have been tried and rejected. To achieve this, the design process needs to be logged. Practical tools such as journey mapping, user diaries, and character profiles help steer the project through the 4 phases. Design the right solution and design the solution right by following these steps. Discover. Any project starts with an analysis of a client's needs. This is the first quarter of the Double Diamond, the phase during which designers start to imagine all the possibilities that the client's problem might present. Define. In this second phase, designers try to make sense of all the possibilities presented by the discovery phase. The designers work with the client to develop a clear design brief that defines the project's parameters. Design. Once a brief is decided, the third phase is one of rapid iteration, in which the designer, working within the parameters set in the definition phase, finds the best route for the project. Deliver. The final quarter of the double diamond is delivery. The product or service, developed through rapid iteration, is fine-tuned, produced, and launched to its intended audience. Now let's take a look at how Excelian puts UCD into action. We designed a digital knowledge sharing environment for asset managers to collaborate, minimize duplication of effort, and share investment intelligence. Our clients' various investment teams and individuals were researching similar markets and undertaking duplicated activities, and there was a significant lack of collaboration and visibility in each other's work and insights. Duplication of effort was a huge issue, as was the resultant inefficiency from this way of working. Critical insights and intelligence were lost due to the company's disjointed and awkward processes. Company details and information on client accounts were stored into separate applications, spreadsheets, and emails, making it difficult to find a single source of truth. A simple example of this duplication was when a team in Brazil was undertaking research on the same company as another team in China. Neither team was aware of each other's efforts, so the effort was duplicated. To make matters worse, it transpired that another team in Washington had undertaken the same research just 6 months earlier. Upon engaging with the client, the business need became clear. A bespoke knowledge platform was needed to collate this intelligence and make it widely available throughout the company. The solution needed to provide the client with an extensive, user-friendly knowledge source that could easily be maintained. We introduced a user-centered design process to understand the nuances and motivations of how the asset managers worked. This involved face-to-face sessions and shadowing to get a rounded perspective on their workflow and the typical tasks they undertook. We met 30 investment professionals and 12 stakeholders in order to understand pain points, and then we broke workflows down into tasks and subtasks and dived deep to uncover the task trigger. What prompts an assets manager to start their task, including frequency? The desired outcome. How will an asset manager know when the task is complete? Success. Knowledge. What will the asset managers be expected to know to complete the task? Tools. What software or information do the asset managers utilize during the course of the task? Pain points. What are the issues or blockers to completing a task? Could they be software, workflows, etc.? Touch points. How, when, why, and what? Modes of interaction. Monitor, manage, communicate, research, analyze, execute. How are these fulfilled? The deep dive enabled us to rapidly define, structure, and test an experience to enable automatic visibility of similar tasks and workflows using collections of information, and was formulated employing techniques used in social network sites. This increased the visibility of people and activities across various departments. It also enabled asset managers to get away from a siloed, individual outlook on the company and their personal working practices and guide them into a broad, all-encompassing view suitable for successfully collaborating and functioning within the modern investment industry. The introduction of the knowledge management platform resulted in an immediate reduction of the duplication of efforts the client had previously witnessed. Being able to work on more profitable activities and to better prioritize time were subsequent advantages. From increasing levels of transparency within the company to boosting staff morale, the entire workstream of the organization was more efficient as well as simplified. For example, a research note could be written about cryptocurrency, which could then be edited, viewed, and/or shared by certain users in different geographic locations. In addition to decreasing duplication, this change in the way of working for the client fostered an environment of collaboration and resulted in an immediate reduction in the duplication of efforts. Here are some examples of how poor user experience can cause serious problems for your business. Adaptive Path conducted a study for Bank of America to discover why the bank was falling behind its competition and discovered that users simply gave up because registering a new account was too complex. Because of this, 45% of users gave up because of the complexity of the system. In the motor industry, the Ford Motor Company lost £320 million, or $400 million, after abandoning a new purchasing application because of poor experience design and excessive support. And now let's focus on financial services. A simple slip of the finger led an RM to accidentally transfer $6 billion to a single hedge fund customer account. This was due to awkward UI controls. A fat-fingered trade by a dealer in the Tokyo Stock Exchange led to the placement of a $622 million order to buy blue chips, such as Toyota. The trader had entered both price and volume data in the same column. This was the result of a confusing screen. A trader accidentally placed an order for selling 610,000 shares of JCOM, for 1 yen each, while the intent was to sell 1 share for 610,000 yen. The transposition could not be canceled because of a technical glitch at the stock exchange. FTSE 100 index fell dramatically when an input error on a trade was executed and led to suspension of trading in 9 companies. The trader reportedly lost £500,000 on the transaction. An input error led to an £8.1 billion order being nearly placed to buy shares of Autonomy, with a trade value about 4 times the market capitalization of the company. Fortunately, the error was caught in time and the trade was canceled immediately, but it was down to an intuitive workflow. All these are real-world examples which have all happened in Tier 1 FS organizations. To conclude, following UCD best practices helps identify challenges up front so that a solution can be found early. UCD is about building dynamic and delightful solutions around the needs of the users. It is not about solving a business problem with technology, then adding a nice look and feel. If you would like to talk to us about how we approach user-centered design to solve digital problems in financial services, please email techspark@excelian.com.